everybody, it's Stefe and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing this eye look that's on my eyes right now. So if you would like to follow along with me, or if you just want to know how I did it, stay tuned and keep on watching. Okay, so before we get started, there's a couple things that I want to mention, because when we do makeup like this, especially using black, you get a lot of fallout. So one thing you want to make sure is you don't put your base on first. Don't put any moisturizer on. Don't put any primer on unless it's eye primer. Because when that fallout gets on your face, if you try to sweep it away, it's going to get absorbed in with that cream that you put on your face or anything else. So we don't do that yet. So it's kind of like doing your makeup backwards. So you put on your base after you get done with the majority of the eye. You can do the under eye after your base is on, but I would say make sure to do it before you powder. But we'll get to that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prime my eyes. So I have the Pretty Vulgar eyeshadow primer. This has gotten a lot of love. It is very used and abused, but I do like it. All you need is a pea-sized amount. If you don't have an eyeshadow primer, you can go ahead and use concealer. It works pretty much the same, but you do want a sticky base for your eye, so you want to make sure that you're putting that on, because otherwise the eyeshadows are not going to be as pigmented as you're going to need them to be. As for the black and the red in this case, also it makes the white stick very well. So I'm going to prime my eyes, and then I'm going to show you what we're dealing with for palettes. Alright, let me go get the palettes and then I will show you what colors we are going to use. Okay, so what we're going for here, as you've already seen in the beginning of the video, is pretty much black on the lid with a little bit of red poking through, some white on the brow bone, and then a nice inner corner highlight. So these are the colors that we are going to be using. The white on top is for the brow bone, and then we have the black, the red, and the shimmer on the bottom for your inner corner highlight, which you can also extend to your under eye a little bit. Don't worry if you have, like me, a little bit of eyeliner still here left on your eyes. That's going to get covered up. But if you do want to get rid of that before you start, by all means go ahead. So now I'm going to zoom you guys in as far as I can, and we are going to get to the eye look. Okay, so first of all, let's go over, actually, let me zoom you guys back out. Let's go over what palettes we're going to use. So I have the Violet Voss Essentials palette. In here, we are going to be using the colors Cream and the colors Black. If you don't have these palettes, you can use any palette. If you're looking for a good palette that has all colors, I would suggest the James Charles palette, because that one has everything. Then we have the Ace Beauté Vintage Dawn palette, and we will be using Gleam, which is this red shade right here. That is a shimmer, but I found it does work very well for this look. You don't have to use a shimmer if you don't want to. And then we have the Shared Planet Tiger collection, and this one has a bunch of beautiful shimmers in here that would all be good for inner corner highlights, but we're going to go in with this one right here, which is Roar. There you can see it in the corner. This does also have a black in it that you could use. It's called Stripes. I found that that black does work out very well. I just don't use it very often because I'm trying to use up one palette at a time. All these palettes are from BoxyCharm, in case you are wondering. Let's zoom you guys back in so we can focus on the eyes. Alright, so first things first, we are going to take the Ace Beauté Vintage Dawn palette, and we are going to dip into that shade Gleam. So I already have brushes that have these colors on them. This brush is by MSQ. I did get a bunch of these from Amazon. I believe it was a 30 pack and it was pretty cheap. So if you need more brushes, you can use those. Actually, before we go in with this red, let's do the white first. So I'm all over the place. I haven't had enough coffee. I apologize. So this is the Violet Voss Essentials palette that we're going to use. And we're going to dip into that white color, which is called Creme. So this one, I'm going to use the same brush, which is like more of a flat packing brush, but it is big. This is also by MSQ. This is what we're going to use on the brow bone, and I found it's easier to do the brow bone right away because you can layer other colors on top, and then if you have to go back and touch up, you can go back and touch that up. So that is that. I'm actually, should I do both eyes? Let me just for this part do both eyes because I don't want the shimmer on this brush on my brow bone when I use this brush later. Okay, now I usually do my eyes parallel at the same time, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to do one eye. I'll come back and show you both eyes and what we do after that part. And I'll show you the fallout and everything so you guys can see it for yourself because I don't care what palette you use, there's going to be a little bit of fallout. Even my Shared Planet palette, which is pretty expensive, has fallout. So next, we're going to now get to the red of the Ace Beauté Vintage Dawn palette. So let's go ahead and dip into that red gleam shade. So this is what you would say is your transition shade. You're going to put this all over the lid. I like to usually start out in the corner, and there is some black on here from blending it in with the black, but that's okay because that's going to get covered up. Just might make for a little bit of a darker red, but if you're using a clean brush, you won't get that. Now, as you can see, this is more of a shimmery shade, which is okay because most of this is going to get covered up, but you want to make sure in between shades as you're putting them down you are blending them together because you don't want this to look like you've got just colors stamped on your face. Otherwise the end result doesn't come out as well. So you want to go a little bit high up with this and try to really get it in that corner because you're going to want it there. So I found with this one, because it's a shimmer, sometimes you do have to build it up a lot. So now what you're going to do, now that that red is on, you're going to take that packing brush you had the white on, and you're just going to go back and blend these two together. It's very important that you blend a lot with this. You can use either wiper motions or you can do the little circles, whatever you would like to do. And then I just kind of go back with a little bit of the red just to kind of help that along. So now it is time to dip into the black. So we're going to take the Violet Voss Essentials palette and we're going to dip into the black in here. This is where you're going to see the majority of your fallout. This is also just another regular packing brush similar to the one I used for the white. All these brushes I'm using today, I believe all of them are by MSQ. But they do have a nice brush selection. So what you want to do when you start is tap this on the corner of your eye. And you want to get it pretty close to the edge where there's a little bit of red left because you're going to be doing some blending. And then you want to take this over the crease. And this is where we start to get our fallout. And then it's just going to go all over the lid. The purpose of putting down the red all over the lid first is so that that primer has something to stick to and your black isn't going to get all tacky on you, because that is not what you want. Definitely not what you want. You may have to build up this color a little bit to get it even darker. If you want to spray your brush, you can, but I really just don't like to. I found if I get enough on here, I am okay. So now comes the process of blending this, because we want all these colors to kind of have a gradient effect together. So we're going to take the red brush we used, and you're just going to kind of go back and forth and blend these together, and this is going to give you that depth of the red in there with the black. You see how I did that? If I turn the light off, you can see it better. But you want to make sure that this is all blended. You can always add in a little bit more red if you feel like it's not enough. I think that should be fine, but it's up to you guys how you would like to do this. Alright, so next comes the part of sweeping away the fallout. As you can see, I do have a lot of fallout going on right now. So, like I said, do not put down your base or anything yet, because you're going to have to go in and sweep this all away. And if you notice, as I'm sweeping, there's a lot more there than actually appears to be. So you just want to get rid of all that. With the shimmers that I'm using, they will leave glitter on your face, but when you put your base on, it's going to take that off. Well, not take it off, but it'll cover it up. So that's not really a big deal. Also, if you get some red like I have, like down here, that's okay, because that's also going to get covered up. Don't forget your nose. And then we'll sweep this away. The important part here is when you're doing the corner of your eye, don't sweep too far up, or you're going to ruin the corner of your eye. And as I'm seeing, my eyes aren't perfect, but they don't need to be. This video is just for tutorial purposes for you guys. You know, nobody's makeup looks 100% perfect, I think. So now you would put on your moisturizer, primer, your base, and then when it's time for powder, what we're going to do is I actually have a Real Techniques 421 brush. It looks like this. It's more of a compact brush, and I find it does hold powder on it. So I shouldn't have did that. But anyway, I like to use this for under my under eye. So what you're going to do is put your base on, and then when you go to powder, just powder. Well, you can powder your whole face if you want to, I guess. But the main section is going to be right here. You're going to powder like this. Don't wipe away the excess, because what's going to happen is we're going to do the colors for the under eye. And then if there's any fallout from that, when you wipe away the excess powder, it will wipe away that eyeshadow as well without leaving a streak. So I will come back to you when it's time to do the lower lash line. Okay, so it's time for powder. Now, as you can see, the eye look looks very different with my base on. As you'll find out as you keep going, things look different as you keep going. So let me get my mirror out here. So I'm just going to do one dip, tap off the excess, and then you're going to go right under the eye and do a sweep. So you want to leave a little bit on there. Be careful if you're using baking powder, because then you're going to have to do this quickly. I personally do like to powder my whole face, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we will do the lower lash line. Alright, so first step of the lower lash line, I'm going to use an eyeliner. I just have this e.l.f. eyeliner that I got in a gift set. You can use any black eyeliner you want. I wouldn't recommend using liquid unless you're very experienced with it in your waterline, because if it does get in your eye, it can sting a lot and ruin your whole makeup look. So be very careful with that. But if you feel comfortable with the liquid, good for you, because I am definitely not. So we're just going to go and fill this in. If you want to connect this to the corner of your eye right here, you can. It's really up to you how you want to do this look. But I wanted to make this as simple as I could of a tutorial for you guys. Alright, so now I'm going to go in and thicken this up a little bit, just because we're going to be putting red and a shimmer over this. So you want to have a little bit of playroom with this. You don't want to leave it too thin. And I've also found the shimmer looks really pretty with a little bit of black underneath it. And we can do both eyes, I guess. So that's what that looks like so far. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another MSQ brush. This is an angled brush. This is good for the under eye. So we're going to use this right here for part of it. You're going to take the Ace Beauté palette and we are going to go in with the Gleam shade, the red shade, and we're going to do the outer section of the eye. So what you want to do is starting at the corner, you want to connect this red up here to down here. So you can start if you want like here, and then you can connect it after like I am, or you can do it right away, however you would like. So as you can see, and you're going to go about to the middle of your eye. As you can see, it's real subtle. It's not a lot, but it's enough that when I back up now, you can see the eyeshadow connects and kind of makes a circle, whereas on this side, it kind of just stops. So you want to continue that with both eyes. Okay, so last thing we're going to do with the eyes is we're going to put our shimmer on. So I like to do my shimmer on the inner corner and extend it down so that all the colors kind of blend together and I don't have just this little flat line right here. So this is the Shared Planet palette and we're going to take the color Roar. So I'm going to use the same brush that I had that white eyeshadow on it. And I'm going to grab Roar. And you just want to kind of close your eye and just tap it on right there. So it gives that kind of illusion, and then you can sweep a little underneath right here. And then I like to go in and kind of blend this so it doesn't look so intense. But that's what that looks like. It is very shimmery, very sparkly, and I do enjoy it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to swipe off that powder. Just for any fallout you have. If you are using the Shared Planet palette, you're going to get a lot of glitter on your face. I'm just telling you that right now. So if you're not a glitter girl, maybe pick a different palette to use because it does give you a lot of shimmer, but I don't mind it. So that is what that looks like so far. I'm going to go finish the rest of this makeup look and then I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the finished makeup look. I think it looks very beautiful. It's not too much for the eyes, but you do have a little bit of an accent of red in there, which goes well with this lip. If you guys are looking for different lipsticks that you can use to pair with these eye looks that I'm going to be doing, I do have a video on that. You can check that out. I believe it's called Vampy Lips, and then I list the colors or something like that. Anyway, let me know down below what other types of videos you want to see. Do you want to see me doing eye looks using all BoxyCharm palettes, or do you want to see me use the Jeffree Star palette? Is there anything else you guys would like to see specifically, like a purple eye look, red eye look, you know, different eyeliner looks? Let me know down below so I know where to take this, because it's really up to you guys, the viewers, what we do next. So comment down below and let me know. But anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy it and that I made it easy for you. If there's anything you have questions about, please comment them down below. But that's going to be the end of the video. So if you liked it, leave it a like. If you're new, please subscribe, and I will see you next time. Mwah!